Picture this. You wake up one morning. The alarm clock rings loudly, and you hit snooze. Once, twice, maybe 3 times. You drag yourself out of bed, shuffle to the kitchen, and pour yourself a cup of coffee. The day ahead feels like yesterday, and the day before that, and the day before that. You go through the motions, work, eat, scroll, sleep, and yet something feels off. Something feels missing. You can't quite put your finger on it, but there's a nagging sense that life is passing you by. You're not unhappy, but you're not happy either. You're just there, existing, floating, waiting. But for what? Now imagine this. What if this isn't just a phase? What if this is it? What if this is the life you've been building day by day, choice by choice, without even realizing it? What if the life you're living today is the life you'll be living 10 years from now, 20 years from now, until the day you die? What if this is all there is? It's a terrifying thought, isn't it? But here's the problem. Most of us live this way. We live as if we have all the time in the world, as if our choices don't matter, as if we can always change tomorrow. But the truth is, tomorrow is a lie. Tomorrow is just today in disguise. And the choices you make today, the small, seemingly insignificant ones, are the ones that shape your future. They're the ones that determine who you become. So, let me ask you this. What is the real cost of passivity? What is the price you pay for staying the same, for not taking risks, for not pursuing your dreams? Is it the life you could have lived? The person you could have become? The impact you could have made? Or is it something deeper, something more existential? Is it the loss of your potential, your purpose? Every time you hit snooze, every time you choose comfort over growth, every time you tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow, you're making a decision. You're deciding to stay the same. You're deciding to remain passive. And passivity, my friend, is a silent killer. It's the thief of dreams, the destroyer of potential, the enemy of progress. It's the force that keeps you stuck, that keeps you small, that keeps you from becoming the person you were meant to be. But here's the thing. Passivity isn't just a habit. It's not just a lack of motivation or a bad attitude. It's a psychological barrier, a deeply ingrained way of thinking that's been shaped by your experiences, your environment, and your beliefs. It's a product of learned helplessness, of fear, of comfort. And until you understand where it comes from, until you confront it head on, you'll never be able to break free. So let me ask you another question. What if you could figure life out? What if you could understand the forces that are holding you back? In short, how do you break the cycle of passivity? The answer, as you'll soon discover, is not what you think. And no, it's not about working harder or being more disciplined or setting bigger goals. It's about understanding the hidden forces that are shaping your reality and learning how to harness them in your favor. It's about taking radical responsibility for your life and making the choice every single day to show up, to take action, to move forward. But before we get there, we need to explore the hidden problem, like the psychological and philosophical roots of passivity and the unseen consequences of living a life on autopilot. Now let's start with a hard truth. Passivity is not an accident. It's not a random occurrence or a stroke of bad luck. It's a choice, a series of choices really, that you've been making, consciously or unconsciously, for years. But here's the twist. Those choices aren't entirely your fault. They're the result of forces that have been shaping you since the day you were born. Forces that are so deeply ingrained in your psyche, your environment, and your culture that you don't even notice them. Forces that have convinced you that staying small, staying safe, and staying stuck is the only way to live. So what are these forces? Where do they come from? And why do they have such a powerful grip on your life? Here's the answer. Have you heard of the concept called learned helplessness? If not, it's time you did. Coined by psychologist Martin Seligman, learned helplessness is the belief that you have no control over your circumstances, no matter what you do. It's the feeling that no matter how hard you try, nothing will change. And once you adopt this mindset, you stop trying altogether. You give up. You resign yourself to your fate. Sound familiar? Learned helplessness often begins in childhood. Maybe you grew up in an environment where your efforts were ignored, dismissed, or punished. Maybe you were told that you weren't good enough, smart enough, or capable enough. Over time, these experiences shape your beliefs about yourself and the world. They teach you that effort is futile, that change is impossible, and that passivity is the only way to survive. But here's the kicker. Learned helplessness doesn't just affect your behavior. It rewires your brain. Studies have shown that when people feel powerless, their prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision-making and problem-solving, becomes less active. At the same time, the amygdala, the part of the brain that processes fear and anxiety, becomes more active. In other words, passivity isn't just a mindset, it's a neurological state. It's a prison that your brain builds for itself. Now let's talk about comfort. Comfort is the enemy of progress. It's the warm, cozy blanket that lulls you into a false sense of security. It's the voice in your head that whispers, "Stay where you are. It's safe here." But here's the problem. Comfort is a trap. It's a tempting lie that traps you in the same place, and the longer you stay in your comfort zone, the harder it becomes to leave. Why do we cling to comfort? Because it's easy, because it's familiar, because it doesn't require effort or risk or vulnerability. But here's the problem. The very thing that feels safe and comforting in the short term is often the thing that holds you back in the long term. It's the thing that prevents you from growing, from evolving, from becoming the person you were meant to be. Philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche understood this better than anyone. He famously said, "What does not kill me makes me stronger." But Nietzsche wasn't just talking about physical strength. He was talking about the strength that comes from facing your fears and from embracing discomfort. He was talking about the kind of growth that can only happen when you leave your comfort zone behind. But here's the thing. Leaving your comfort zone isn't just about taking risks. It's about confronting the beliefs and assumptions that keep you trapped. It's about challenging the stories you tell yourself. Stories like, "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never change." These stories are the real barriers to growth. They're the invisible chains that keep you bound to a life of passivity. Let's take this a step further. Let's talk about freedom. On one hand, it's the ultimate goal, the thing we all strive for. On the other hand, it's terrifying. Because with freedom comes responsibility. With freedom comes the burden of choice. This is the existential dilemma that philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre explored in his work. He believed that humans are condemned to be free. In other words, we have no choice but to make choices. And every choice we make defines who we are. But here's the catch. Many of us are afraid of this freedom. We're afraid of the responsibility that comes with it. So we withdraw into inaction. We let others make decisions for us. We follow the path of least resistance. We live lives of quiet desperation. But here's the truth. Freedom is not something to be feared. It's something to be embraced. It's the key to unlocking your potential, to living a life of purpose and meaning. But to embrace freedom, you must first confront the fear that's holding you back. You must confront the belief that you're not capable of handling the responsibility that comes with it. Finally, let's discuss the forces that keep us passive. Society prioritizes fitting in over standing out, security over taking chances, and comfort over progress. From a young age, we're taught to follow the rules, to color inside the lines, to do what's expected of us. We're taught that success is about fitting in, not standing out. We're taught that the goal of life is to avoid failure, not to pursue greatness. This cult of conformity is everywhere. It's in the education system that prioritizes test scores over creativity. It's in the corporate world that rewards obedience over innovation. It's in the media that bombards us with messages about what we should look like, how we should act, and what we should want. And it's in our social circles where we're often judged for stepping outside the norm. Conformity is the enemy of authenticity. It's the enemy of growth. It's the force that keeps you small, that keeps you stuck, that keeps you from becoming the person you were meant to be. And until you break free from it, you'll never be able to live a life of true freedom and fulfillment. So, where does this leave us? It leaves us with a choice to confront the hidden forces that are shaping your life. A choice to challenge the beliefs, the fears, and the societal pressures that are keeping you stuck. A choice to take radical responsibility for your life and to start making decisions that align with your true self. This choice isn't easy. It requires courage, it requires vulnerability, it requires a willingness to face the unknown. But it's also the most important choice you'll ever make, because it's the choice that will determine the course of your life. It's the choice that will determine who you become. So, let me ask you this. Are you ready to confront the hidden forces that are holding you back? Are you ready to break free from the cycle of passivity and start living a life of purpose, passion, and power? The first step is understanding what's been holding you back all along. Imagine this. You're standing at the edge of a cliff. Below you is the life you've been living, a life of routines, habits, and choices that feel safe, familiar, and comfortable. It's not a bad life necessarily, it's just small, limited, unfulfilled. And then there's the other side of the cliff. It's shrouded in fog, uncertain, and terrifying. But you can feel it calling to you. You can sense that on the other side lies the life you've always dreamed of, a life of purpose, passion, and power. The question is, do you jump? This is the moment of rebellion, the moment when you decide to break free from the cycle of passivity and take control of your life. The moment when you stop waiting for the perfect time, the perfect plan, the perfect version of yourself, and start taking action. But here's the thing. Defying the norm isn't easy. It's not a single moment, but a daily commitment, a decision to face your fears, step into uncertainty, and welcome discomfort. It's choosing to take full ownership of your life and make choices that reflect your authentic self. So how do you do it? How do you break free from the cycle of passivity and start living a life of purpose, passion, and power? The first step in breaking free from passivity is a radical shift in mindset. It's the shift from seeing yourself as a victim of your circumstances to seeing yourself as the creator of your reality. This shift is not easy. It requires you to take full responsibility for your life, not just the parts you like, but the parts you don't. It requires you to stop blaming your past, your environment, or other people for your problems, and start taking ownership of your choices. When you make this shift, something incredible happens. You realize that you're not powerless. You realize that you have the power to change your life, no matter where you are or what you've been through. You realize that you're not a passive participant in your own life, but the author of your own story. This is the core of true accountability. It's the belief that you are 100% responsible for your life, not because you caused all your problems, but because you have the power to solve them. And when you embrace this belief, everything changes. You stop waiting for someone else to save you. You stop waiting for the perfect circumstances. You start taking action right here, right now. The second step in breaking free from passivity is to embrace discomfort. This might sound counterintuitive. After all, isn't the goal of life to be happy? But the thing is, comfort is the enemy of growth. It's the thing that keeps you stuck, that keeps you small, that keeps you from becoming the person you were meant to be. And the only way to grow, to evolve, to break free from the cycle of passivity is to step into discomfort. What does this mean for you? This means doing things that scare you. It means taking risks, facing your fears, and stepping into the unknown. It means embracing failure as a necessary part of the journey, rather than something to be avoided at all costs. When you embrace discomfort, something incredible happens. You realize that you're stronger, braver, and more capable than you ever imagined. You realize that the things you were afraid of, failure, rejection, uncertainty, are not as scary as you thought. But you might be looking for a practical strategy that can help you take action, even when you don't feel like it. It's called the 5-second rule, and it's based on the idea that you have a 5-second window to act on an impulse before your brain talks you out of it. Here's how it works. The next time you have an impulse to take action, whether it's to start a project, have a difficult conversation, or step outside your comfort zone, count down from 5 to 1 and then move. Don't think, don't hesitate, just act. The reason this works is that it interrupts the habit loop in your brain. It stops you from overthinking, from second-guessing, from talking yourself out of taking action, and it gives you the momentum you need to break free from the cycle of passivity. But here's the thing. The 5-second rule is not a magic bullet. It's not going to solve all your problems overnight. But it's a powerful tool that can help you take small, consistent steps toward the life you want. But you're probably thinking, does this even work? Let's take Viktor Frankl, for example. A Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, Viktor Frankl is a powerful example of someone who broke free from the cycle of passivity and took control of his life. He spent years in Nazi concentration camps where he endured unimaginable suffering. But instead of giving up, he found meaning in his suffering. He realized that even in the most horrific circumstances, he had the power to choose his attitude and his purpose. This realization became the foundation of his philosophy, which he later outlined in his book Man's Search for Meaning. Frankl believed that the primary drive in human life is not pleasure, and he argued that the key to a fulfilling life is to find meaning in your experiences, no matter how difficult or painful they may be. Frankl's story is a powerful reminder that no matter what you're going through, you have the power to find meaning in your suffering, to take control of your life, and to create a future that aligns with your values and purpose. So, where does this leave us? It leaves us with a choice, a decision to resist the forces that are keeping you stuck, a choice to take radical responsibility for your life, a choice to embrace discomfort, to take action, and to create a life of purpose, passion, and power. This choice is not easy. It requires courage, vulnerability, and a willingness to face the unknown, but it's also the most important choice you'll ever make. Now we'll move to the final part of the video, where I'll be giving you the full truth, the final, most powerful realization that you will probably ever have after watching this video. So listen closely. Imagine this. You're standing at the edge of that cliff again. The life you've been living is behind you. The routines, the habits, the choices that felt safe but left you unfulfilled. The fog on the other side is still there, still uncertain, still terrifying. But this time, something is different. This time, you're not just standing there paralyzed by fear. This time, you're ready to jump. Not because you're no longer afraid, but because you've realized something profound. Something life-changing. What is this realization, you may ask? It's this. You are not your thoughts. You are not your fears. You are not your past. You are the awareness behind it all. You are the one who chooses. And in every moment, you have the power to choose differently. This is the final, most powerful realization. It's the understanding that you are not a passive participant in your own life anymore, but the conscious creator of it. It's the understanding that your thoughts, your fears, your past, they don't define you anymore. They don't control you anymore. Allow me to break this down even further. The first part of this realization is recognizing that you are not your thoughts. They are merely passing mental events, temporary, fleeting, and often illogical. They are not facts, they are not absolute truths, and they do not define you. Most of us identify with our thoughts. We believe that our thoughts define us, that they are who we are. And so when we have negative thoughts, we believe them. We internalize them. We let them shape our reality. But here's the truth. Your thoughts are not you. They are just stories your brain tells you, based on your past experiences, your fears, and your conditioning. And just because you have a thought doesn't mean it's true. It doesn't mean you have to believe it. When you realize this, something incredible happens. You gain distance from your thoughts. You stop identifying with them. You stop letting them control you, and you start seeing them for what they are. And when you see your thoughts as stories, you realize that you have the power to rewrite them. You have the power to choose which stories you believe, which stories you act on, and which stories you let go of. The second part of this realization is understanding that you are the one who chooses. In every moment, you have the power to choose your thoughts, your actions, and your responses. You have the power to choose who you are and how you live your life. But as you may have heard, with great power comes great responsibility. It requires you to take ownership of your choices, to stop blaming your circumstances, and to start taking action. This is the essence of radical responsibility. It's the understanding that no matter what happens to you, you have the power to choose how you respond. It's the understanding that your life is not determined by your circumstances, but by your choices. And when you embrace this understanding, everything changes. You stop feeling like a victim. You stop feeling stuck. You start feeling empowered. You start realizing that you have the power to create the life you want. The third and final part of this realization is understanding that you are the awareness behind it all. You are not your thoughts, your fears, or your past. You are the awareness that observes them. You are the consciousness that experiences them. This is a profound shift in perspective. It's the shift from identifying with your mind to identifying with your awareness. It's the shift from being lost in your thoughts to being present in the moment. And when you make this shift, something incredible happens. You realize that you are not your mind, you are not your body, you are not your emotions, you are the awareness that experiences them. And this awareness is free. This is the ultimate freedom. It's the freedom from the limitations of your mind, the fears of your body, and the emotions of your heart. It's the freedom to be fully present, fully alive, and fully yourself. As we come to the end of this video, let's return to that cliff. The life you've been living is behind you. The fog on the other side is still there, still uncertain, still terrifying. But this time, you're not just standing there. This time, you're ready to jump. You've realized that you are not your thoughts. You are not your fears. You are not your past. You are the awareness behind it all. You are the one who chooses. And in every moment, you have the power to choose differently. This is the ultimate truth. This is the final, most powerful realization. And it's the key to breaking free from the cycle of passivity and living a life of purpose, passion, and power. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and drop a comment letting us know what you think, and we'll catch you in the next one.